Audicratic audio.
And you mentioned how Funk Flex was coming to Albany. I think it was not this past Friday, the one before that. I'm pretty sure it
Yep.
was. And it reminded me of when I was younger, my brother had 60 Minutes of Funk. I think he had probably 1 and 2. And whatever one Puerto Rico is on, I think that's the
Yeah.
first one, like Puerto Rico.
Frankie
And
Cutlass.
yeah, I remember he had, I think it was this, and this is why I wanted to ask you. Is your name in that as
Oh,
DJ?
so I've got the so
Because
there's I've
I was
I've got
gonna
a
say
gold
because
record. I've got a gold record from Funkmaster Flex Volume 2.
oh, 2,
And
okay, yeah.
and yeah, so
I remember him showing me like, "Yo, it says Toast
yeah,
in here." How it has all the DJ names. I'm like, "What? He's on this? Like, what? How does
yeah,
this
it's
guy?" Like,
funny.
it was like blowing my mind back in the day. I'm like 12 or 13. Like, oh my gosh, this guy's famous. Like,
Yeah, I got a sh I got sh I've been blessed to get shout outs at a couple of records, and it's because of whether I did an interview with the artist to help him promote it, right, for any of those magazines that I wrote for, or I was playing the record a lot, or even just in some cases, like I got a shout out on, the Far Side's Lab Cab in California because of the fact that I had played their first album a lot and they shot it out. Yeah, the Funk Flex, trying to think some of the other ones, but Akinelli, like just some crazy, crazy things. And I'm like, all of a sudden I'd look in the liner notes and there's my name there amongst, some legendary DJs. Or my name didn't belong on the same page as Premier and Funk Flex or any of these people. Like it didn't, but the fact that they were acknowledging that I was doing my thing up here really made me feel good. But yeah, it's like which of these things doesn't belong here? Yeah, my name didn't belong there. I mean, I remember one time there was a magazine and they were the Fader, right? The Fader magazine was a hip hop magazine that Rob Stone put out. But anyway, in the first issue, they were polling DJs for like top 3 picks. And, like, on the same page as DJ Premier's top 3 picks, it says, DJ Toast, WRPI, and my top 3 picks. I'm like, I don't even belong in the same book as Premier, let alone on the same page. But, they wanted to get sort of a sampling of DJs from around the country for some of that stuff. It was, it felt good. It felt good. And, but I also felt kind of like a little bit of a fraud because I'm like, yeah, these guys are legendary people that I look up to. And then my name's on the liner notes right next to them. It was kind of funny, but
and speaking of the records too, because as for people that are watching this, or even if you're listening, I'm looking right into my camera, so I'm not really looking at Toast's camera, but I see it, the corner of my eye. Can you speak on what we have in the background here a little bit?
yeah.
You might have mentioned a couple, but again,
Yeah, so like over my radio career, like I said, I've been blessed to get acknowledged for helping some artists, and the record labels or the management or whatever would gift me a gold record. So it would say, so the first one I ever got was from Cypress Hill's first album, and it's right over here. It's got the old Rough House logo, which I'm gonna have to, it's got an orange and red logo, and it's off their first album. So it's, just, presented to me. It's actually has my real name and DJ Toast in the middle.
so dope.
And then I've got the other one I got behind me is the Temples of Doom, which was their third album, Cypress Hill. And then, Funkmaster Flex mixtape volume 2. I've got one from Onyx. I've got one from Naughty by Nature. They're down in the basement. I've got,
'Cause
a
I don't even
couple of
know if I
others.
know how that works. They can just gift that to somebody that was
Yeah, yeah.
influential, or
Yeah. Yeah, they could just so it would really come from the record label or the management, and they would say, "Okay, this person has been," um, I'm just assuming, like, I've never had to do it, but I'm just
right.
assuming, "Hey, this person was helpful in the promotion of this record. This record has had success. We're gonna gift them a gold record." A lot of times they'll send them to like a commercial radio station. Like if you go in the lobby of Hot 97, there's a billion of these things, from any of artists that went through there. And so I've gotten a few. I know a DJ, friend of mine, Mike Nardone out of LA. He had an underground hip hop show in LA for years. He's the one who sent me the Cypress Hill demo before they were even signed. He's got gold records like crazy just from anybody because he was, playing him in LA before. And then he had a commercial
Yeah,
station.
I didn't think I realized how often the radio stations get those, or the DJs.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think I
but
realized
mostly
that.
commercial. Like it's rare for a college, like I said, because there was no commercial outlet in Albany. These people were gifting it, a couple of them to me, and like I said, I got an Onyx one and yeah, Naughty by Nature and some others, but the ones behind me are the ones, the Funk Flex mixtape volume 2 and then the 2 Cypress Hill ones. And then the other thing I have is I'm a huge fan of old school bubble graffiti art. So, Cope 2 is a legendary graffiti artist and he with the bubble design. So I got a couple of prints, of his just to kinda 'cause I think it looks cool. Like, and if you look at, the Rap is Out of Control T-shirt. If you listen to Rap is Out of Control on Sirius, their logo was done by Cope with the bubble, and that's the thing too. I tried my hand at graph once, and I'm like, oh yeah, I stink. Like anything artistic, I'm
Yeah, it's
not good at
amazing
that.
what they can do, like,
Oh my
yeah,
god, a
it
big
it
yeah,
really is.
a big fan of that. So yeah, that's what I got behind me. Those are the three that kind of mean the most to me. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like them. And then try to tell my kids, well, you know, I don't want to see these on eBay. When I pass, I want to see
Right.
keep them for me. Yeah.
That's
But
funny.
that's funny.